I just restarted it.
Basically half my day.
If anyone's on, can you just send a text so we know it's working?
Alright, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna tag team a quick training about your why, and then share a little bit about our stories. And super fun. Katie and I just met for the first time tonight, but we chatted on the phone earlier today. And that's part of the reason why I love Arbonne is because I don't think, well, maybe there are some people on the same teams in this room, but the majority of us are on all different success lines, which is really powerful. And I'm semi-new to Charlotte. I moved here about a year ago, and just like the welcome was amazing. So I'm really excited to be a part of this community. But my name is Gabby Spangenberg. I'm an area manager and consultant at Arbonne, and I started my business about it'll be 3 years in April. And I just tell people like my story is nothing like fabulous. Like I wasn't the person who was super against it. I didn't really think much about it. What I did know is that when I graduated from college, I was working at my full-time consulting job. I just hated being at a desk all day. I was like, I just don't like this. You got to get out of here. And I grew up with being someone who always volunteered, and my parents were like, Gabby's going to be the girl like on the street volunteering homeless, and my sister is pre-med. She's like, and Jackie's going to be like a millionaire, but she doesn't care about people. And so I always thought like I was going to be like the one who like cared for people but didn't make any money, because that's like kind of the stereotype. Like if you have a good heart, like you're going to volunteer and not make money. So I was like, dang, I need to find something where I can help people but make some money. So I spent $300 at Whole Foods buying supplements, and 2 days later I was introduced to Arbonne, and it was just like, oh, great, I'll do that. So it wasn't like a big to-do for me. But I jumped in, and someone was saying, like, ignorance on fire. That's sort of how I was. I just went for it. And about like 9 months into my Arbonne business, I just decided to quit my consulting job, and then I traveled around for about a year. I went, not full, but like would go 1 month to Spain and another month to go to Portugal. So it was just a really awesome time. And since then, a lot has changed in my life, which we're going to talk also about, like changing whys. Because when I started my business, this was just to pay for like my rent and like maybe some fun shoes or something like that. But now it's more than that. I recently got engaged, so now I'm like, oh, maybe I can use this to pay for a honeymoon or parts of my wedding. So it's ever changing. But so quick little bit about why is that one thing that I was really stuck on is that I couldn't find a leader in Arbonne that I super connected with. There are lots of people my age, but I just felt like none of their stories really aligned with my story. And one of my mentors told me, and this was like the best thing I think I've ever heard in Arbonne, she was like, if you don't see a leader that you connect with, that means that you're responsible to get to the top and be that leader, because someone is waiting for you to do that and to be that leader for them. So if you don't connect with somebody, you're supposed to be that person. So one of the other things that I've learned is to become that person and get to the tippy top of the company involves a lot of growing and personal development. So challenge and question to y'all tonight to kind of wonder about is, what are you doing every day to grow yourself? It's not easy. It's going to take time and commitment and patience, but it's important, and you won't get to the top of the company without it. So that's kind of a why/personal development training. I'm awesome.
That's great. So much too is like I've learned it's not about the title. I think like Michelle was, where are you? Michelle was saying like wanted to be this title by this date, but it's who all can we keep reaching out to, and eventually that title will come based on just keep sharing this gift with so many people. So my name is Katie. Did I say that? I'm an area manager. I'm very introverted, so that was one of like my huge and nerve-wracking things was like Pauline said, getting in front of people and sharing this was one of my biggest fears, and it still makes me nervous, but I think that can be relatable too. So if that's something that you can relate to, people out there that are nervous, and that is okay. So I'm an occupational therapist. I went to school and got a master's degree, and so I thought, why do I need something like this? Kind of like Michelle, this wasn't something in my life that I necessarily thought that I needed. But I learned very quickly that I was trading time for money. And my first year out of school, actually, I was living with my mom, Jane, who's here tonight, and I realized I was getting up super early in the morning and would get home pretty late at night because I was already pulling overtime. I actually started multiple jobs right out of school. And I love what I do, but I just realized I was getting burnt out really, really fast. And it just wasn't something that I desired 5 years down the line. So I went to an Arbonne Healthy Happy Hour with my sponsor, Lindsay, was there. And she so gratefully now planted this seed in my head. I was super against it at first. And I thought it was one of those silly things. I thought good for her because I didn't relate to her other than being, she's a physical therapist and I'm an OT. But I tried some skincare and I tried some of the products and did extensive research on them because I was very picky about what I used. And what I learned very quickly is Arbonne has the best ingredient policy out there. And I just felt very comfortable recommending them to people. And so met back up with her and I thought, my why, I'm going to share how your why will grow and evolve. Started out very, very small. I just wanted to make a few $100s a month so I didn't have to work multiple jobs as an occupational therapist. Didn't want to quit being a therapist, but I thought I need to supplement some of this so I don't have to get tired. So when I did that and I realized how easy it was to share the products with people, I thought I have to keep going and tell people about this opportunity because it's already starting to change our life. Little did I know, in November of last year, not this last year, the year before that, I would get laid off from my job. And I had never heard of an occupational therapist getting laid off, but 16 of us got laid off from the same company. And so again, preparing for impact is so vital. And I always like to educate people on how important it is to start this business before you think you need it. And it's okay to start it after you need it. That's okay too. But gosh, I was so thankful because there were people in that company that were like, what the heck are we going to do? And yes, it hit me hard. Really? I got laid off? And I cried because I'm actually the primary breadwinner in my family. And so I didn't know how, didn't have a job. Arbonne paid my mortgage and Arbonne covered bills that would not have been able to been covered otherwise. We would have really been scraping by. So I was very, very thankful for that to happen. And my vision had started growing so much at that point that I really connect with the company. Not everyone does connect with people right away, but I thought, okay, these are my people. This is my tribe. This is the type of people that I've been looking for. I saw our EMVP Miranda building homes in Haiti, and I saw that she was able to foster kids, and that she said there's more to life than the day-to-day, and I really I'm gonna get hormonal. So excuse me. But the very first presentation I did, I cried because not even so much that I was nervous, but these are my people, and this is what I've been looking for, and it does exist. And you don't have to be dragged down by the negative people every day. So there's so many reasons I'm grateful for this business, but I would say the culture of the company is number one. So I go off on tangents when I share my 60-second story, and I think that's okay. So my whys continue to evolve. Again, it started out just a couple $100s a month, and now replacing my income is my goal. And as I was sitting here listening to you guys, my little girl was kicking. I'm like, this is why I'm doing this. Because I didn't know I would be able to stay at home with her and be able to replace that income, but it is possible. And you're crying too. Jesus.
She's got all of us crying.
Sorry. I didn't know that was going to happen. Pregnant ladies in the room. So what I'm going to share with you is what our team does is creating your 60-second story. It's a simple breakdown of how you can just jot it down really quick. And even if you do go off on tangents, it is okay. But this kind of keeps everything that you need to answer in mind so that people will relate to you, whether you're short on time or short on money or whatever your why may be, you're sharing that in your story. So the first thing I would say is just mention how you got interested in Arbonne and how you found it, because people want to know, well, if you are skeptical, where you first heard about it. For me, it was the get together, and but at that point, I didn't really know if I wanted to do this or not. And then what was a problem or what you wanted to fix in your life. So for me, it was to replace some income so that I didn't have to work a ton, and I could have more flexibility in my life and not feel like I was trading time for money. And then what were your hesitations? For me, I'm shy. I knew it in my life, but I made time for it. And that I was really lacking on friends at the time too, because I was working so much. I really didn't have a good group of people that I could share this with. But I found people. There are people out there. You only need to know, I've heard you say that, one people. Yeah. And they will connect you with people. Y'all are messy.
You got her down.
How did you overcome those hesitations? So if you were skeptical for any of those reasons and you thought, how in the world am I going to do this? How did you overcome that? And so for me, I learned that it wasn't, like, I was nervous about being salesy and pushy and having the few friends that I did have, having to push that on people. But what I learned is that it is simply about education. And I felt so passionate about the products that were already changing my life, and I was feeling healthier, my skin was looking better, and I thought, man, all I'm doing is sharing these products that if you go to your favorite pizza place, your favorite hair salon, or you're using makeup from Ulta, you're recommending to people, you're not getting paid on that. So we do with Arbonne, so why not recommend products? And then where are you going that you can take people with you? So be able to answer that question. And for me, my vision is becoming so much more crystal clear than it was in the beginning. Now I know I am going to the top of this company because I find so much passion and joy, because I know people are out there living in quiet desperation, looking for something like this. They may not know that it comes in this package, but they know that there is more to life, and it's our job to go out there and find those people. And sometimes, I felt down, like, where are my people that I'm searching for? And then, if you do that personal growth and development, you will find and that next person, and you're like, this is, why I was asking you about this business, because little did I know that you were struggling, to pay your mortgage this month or whatever it might be. But I'm looking for people that I can take to the top of this company with me, or that are just looking to cover that little bit extra every month. And so let people know that you know that where you're going and that you're confident in that as well. Anyone have any questions about me?
Yay! Great job. Okay. So Colleen, you're gonna train on sponsoring. Oh, sorry. Thank you guys for training.
All right, so I was asked to just talk about sponsoring. And this was a training that I did a few weeks ago at a car presentation. So I'm going to condense it because it was longer when I pulled it out. But you guys, sponsoring is just a skill. Who's afraid to sponsor? So, to offer the opportunity to people, it's a skill that the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And the truth is, it's where all the passion, it's where all the fun and excitement is in our business, and really in life. I mean, I had to sponsor in plastic surgery. I had to go out every single month and find enough people to spend a total of $60,000 on plastic surgery to cover her overhead. So you're probably already sponsoring in your own really. You're probably already doing this in your day job right now. You're just doing it for somebody else. It's got a little different twist on it. But so some of you know that I've been out since 2014. I was diagnosed with tonsil cancer. I'm fine today. Everything is great. But I was gone for 3 solid years. So when I came back about 9 months ago, was I read the 4-Year Career.
Love that book.
Yeah. If you have not read this book, this is a great book to give to a guest. This is how I build my business today. And they've got one 4-Year Career for women. And this is husband and wife, Richard Brooke and his wife, Kimmy. 4-Year Career for Women by Kimmy Brooke, his wife. I love this guy. And what I like him is, you can Google him on YouTube. I'm going to give you 2 really powerful videos to watch. One's 26 minutes and one's 32 minutes. And I've told my team, if I disappeared tomorrow and nobody could find me, if they just plugged into those 2 videos, they go to the top of Arbonne. And they actually did what Richard says in the videos. And you guys, it's so simple. Go watch this. It's just so simple. So I pulled books back out and I pulled the book back out and I reread it. And some of my notes, I love this book because it's strictly about our business and it educates people on just how huge our business plan is and what's possible. Because this is, I started this training at the car presentation. This is not the brownies. This is not the Girl Scouts. This is business. And this is large business today. Whether some people want to really believe that or not and wrap themselves around it, this is a huge business opportunity for people. And it's for people, like I chose, to take back their life and their time. So people leave after reading this book with a positive understanding of what we do. Majority of people don't join us because they don't really understand what we're doing. And they've made up stories. We all have a story. I do, you do, best friend Mary has a story. We've all got a story that we make up. But most people just don't understand what we're doing. And that's why they say, oh yeah, no, I'm good. It's good for you. So the book is packed with every piece of credibility that our profession can offer. It's a really powerful book, so I highly recommend it. So then, just about sponsoring, I decided to do something that I had thought about over and over the years. And for the guests that are here, please hear this. Or if you're a branding consultant, please hear this. I have chosen to do this. This is not what you have to do. I did not do this to get here tonight in my business. But I'm going to share with you in a second. And most of you aren't going to do this. But I'll share it with you because maybe one of you will go home and go, I'm going to do this. Christy Dryling did this. And she pretty much owns Australia. And she did this. But I'm going to tell you that I've been doing. So I decided to do something. And what it was I started calling people cold. So how many consultants have ever sat and went, oh my God, who am I going to talk to? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do today? Just what's my day going to look like? I don't know who to talk to and stuff like that. I really took that piece completely out. And I decided I'm going to start calling real estate agents. Because I know they have I did real estate in Los Angeles. Anybody a real estate agent? They have no life. They have the opportunity to make a lot of money. Most of them don't. So most of them quit. It's very much like what we do, only we have a lifestyle that they don't. And that's why I targeted them. And I started calling them cold. And I will tell you, before I picked up the phone the first time, it was beyond terrifying. I was in my house just having a conversation with myself and pacing, like literally pacing. And finally I sat with myself and I went, okay, Colleen, you got a choice here. You can sit down in this chair and pick up that phone. And I had a script that I had practiced, and I can tell you what I said if you'd like to know. So you can sit down and start calling, or you can get out the door today and see who you might connect with, which I do all the time. I did tonight. Jill saw it. I walked out of here with 2 cards of a woman, and this woman goes, oh my gosh, I so want to reinvent myself this year. I can't believe you just talked to me. I'm like, okay. So you can get out the door, Colleen, or you can go get a job. Let's see, at that point I was 64 years old. I go, let's see who's going to hire you at 64 years old. And now this happened on top of it. So I'm like, I think you should sit down. So I did, and it was terrifying. I picked an area here in Charlotte that I wouldn't want to work out of, like outskirts. And I started just dialing. And after I spoke to 4 people, I'm like, I got this. Got this. And literally, just 4 people. I'm like, feel totally comfortable. Started calling in agents right here in my earth card. I'm top agents. And I just started dialing and setting up appointments. When people wanted to. 99% of the people were lovely with me. I mean, really, really sweet. I think 2 people hung up on me. I'm like, oh, really? Really? And everybody else, you know, there's, of course, lots of no's, but I've also met with people, and everybody's been really lovely. So it wasn't as scary as I had made up. I put together a script. I don't know if you guys want to know what I said.
Yeah.
So I pick up the phone and I dial and I go, Michelle. I go, hi, Michelle answers the phone. She goes, hi, this is Michelle. I go, hey, Michelle, my name is Colleen Hill. I'm a recruiter, international internet-based health and wellness company. Here in the area, which I was in real estate in Los Angeles. And I was just touching base with you today to see if you would all keep your options open in terms of making money outside of what you're currently doing. In real estate would give you, and this is the key, that will give you more time freedom. They normally stop right in your tracks when I say that, because they don't have, none of them do. And then I take it from there. You know, if they say, yeah, you know, okay, you're right, I don't have any time freedom, then I either drop the book off at their office if they want me to, or I meet them at a Panera. I don't meet at I don't meet at Starbucks because it's way too noisy. But so I'll set up a time to meet with them. I said, give me 10 minutes, and I'm going to share with you some information about the industry, and it can explain it to you much better than I could ever explain it to you. They go, okay, great. And I just set it up. I'll make it more time. Wrap up.
You got about 3 more minutes.
When I meet back with them, you guys, the first question I ask, if it's a woman, because I've met with men too, if it's a woman, I say, and all this comes from Richard. I say, you know, after reading the book, you know, how'd you feel? How'd you feel after reading the book? And I stop talking, and they'll just share with you. If it's a man, I say, what'd you think? What'd you think? How'd you feel, woman? What'd you think? It's a man. And now, if they're not interested, if they're interested, okay, this did spark my interest, then I leave them with a product experience. So I give them some of our nutrition, because I lead with the nutrition today. It's huge. And some skincare stuff. And then I set another time up in 3 days to meet back with them because I've got that skincare. If they're not interested, I thank them for their time. I write a thank you card to everyone, no matter what. I've always done that. They get a thank you, a written out thank you card from me. If they're not interested, then I ask them if they would be open to giving me their feedback on some of our new products. And I give them a choice. I've been asked by my company to get feedback here in the area on 2 of our core line of products. So you could choose, you know, and they say, oh, yeah, I can do that. I go, there's no obligation. Get to use them in the privacy of your own home for a couple days. And all I ask is, if it's skincare, put everything you're currently using aside, don't mix it. And give me 10 to 15 minutes on the 3rd day to give me your feedback. So that's how I handle that. And if they're not interested, they say no to that, then I say, great, again, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. And would you please keep my card? And if you know of anyone who might be looking for a business career opportunity like this, and who I'm looking for is someone who's burned out, who's lost their job, their job's gone overseas, they've been laid off, they're a stay-at-home mom, and they may want to still have more time with their children, be home, but still earn 6-figure income. That would be a great referral, and I will give you lovely free products and gifts for the referrals, because I appreciate it, because my business is all word of mouth. So that's it.
Yay!
tell you guys, doing the has taken so much stress out of my business, big time. I don't stress anymore about, you know, just sit in and start.
I love it.
I think we should be good. We'll probably get out a little. I'm going to get out of here a little early. I know it's kind of yucky out, but I do want to talk tonight about something that it's very timely with it being a new year, and talk a little bit about goals and vision. Something that if you're a consultant, if you're here as a guest, I'm sure that you can find ways that it'll apply to your life. And you know, if you're here as a guest and, you know, by midnight a consultant, then you'll be like, yes, I already got this knowledge. So, but a little bit about goal setting. And this is something I'm very passionate about because I did a lot of this in my career. And, you know, and in all aspects of my life before Arbonne, the key for success. So it's important for you to see progress, and that's why I'm going to talk about the different components of goal setting. It'll also help you raise your self-confidence, and that's one of the things in this business that's really important. Share with confidence. We say, like, you hear all the time, fake it till you make it. Like, you know, and really I prefer to say, like, act as if, right? Act as if you're an executive national vice president 6Y. Like, you know, we say in Arbonne, it's the only time you want to be big, fat, and wide, right? But like, think about that. Like, so, you know, you want to have that self-confidence, and this is going to help you, especially as you're achieving. I don't know about you guys, but I like to make little to-do lists that literally break down things into like 5 different steps because like it's so reinforcing to me. This might be the behavior to me, but to cross things off the list. Like I will literally write it down, just cross it off. So, you know, it is important to really break it down, but all successful individuals, no matter what field you're in, right, top athletes, business executives, teachers, doesn't matter, you know, they write goals. So it is really important, and that's why I really wanted them to talk a little bit about why, like their why, because the reason that you're going after this goal is really key. You need to know why you're doing it, because when you're striving for a goal, we're going to get distractions, right? There are going to be obstacles that are going to come in our way, but if you know why you're going after the goal, then it makes a big difference. You know, what's your motivation for committing to the goal? How will achieving this goal transform or better your life or the lives of others? You know, and exactly, you know, when you're looking at it, think of it like a big, audacious, like gaudy goal, right? So you have this big, you know, this big overarching huge goal, and I want you guys to think. So where it was when I said, what would you be doing, right? If you didn't have to worry about the money and the time, think about that. Do not be fearful of going for your dream. Like, you know, go for it, because if you don't go for it, you're never going to get it. So, you know, what does it look like, right? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? I love that our national vice presidents are in Maui right now, and you can see what they're doing there. Like, imagine yourself there, you know, drinking that frozen drink on the beach, you know, with the music in the background. And what does it feel like to turn to your kids or your spouse or your friend and say, like, hey, like, we did it. Like, this is it. You know, just think of that gratification. So I remember, you know, and I wrote this training several years ago, and it's so funny because I could visualize, and I put this in my training, the struggle of putting my kids' car seats in my SUV Benz in the hot South Carolina weather. Guess when I earned my Mercedes? May 31st. Guess what was happening when we were putting those 2 car seats in the car? We were sweating, right? And I'm like, but that was part of my vision. My mother-in-law came home with a dress that I saw at Target that I wanted my daughter to wear for the car presentation when I came back from Linda Parker's Servant's Heart Retreat. Like, you can't make that up. Like, that was my vision. I saw that. I didn't buy it. I come home. She didn't know about it. And that dress was there.
And I'm telling you guys, you have to really feel it. It's really important to spend time on that. Don't just write them down in a journal, but create a vision board. I know a lot of you guys probably do this with your teams, and it is really important. Include the perfect vacation, vacations, your dream car. I have things on my vision board, if you guys have heard me train, my goal for last year was to close out AIT Level 5 March 31st of 2017. I closed it out literally 2 months early at Level 5. Why? Because March 31st was on my vision board, right? And that was in my head. So I really want you guys to see the power in vision and goal setting. I always tell my team, put it everywhere. Put it on your fridge. Put it in your car. Put it on your desk at work. I had me in front of my Mercedes on my desk in my speech pathology office. Right there, staring in my face. And it was also a great conversation starter. But, what are your benchmark goals? What are those larger steps that are going to get you there? Right? So write them down and write them down with a timeline. This is so key. And put the year. My ENVP, Melissa Walker, was like, make sure that you put the year on that, because I think that was my problem. And the exact date. But make sure that you have a date for that benchmark goal and write it. That probability. So make sure that they're written down. Maybe your 1 year goal is RVP, 6 months area, 2 months DM, or maybe you're promoting to district by the end of this month. But what does that mean? Break it down also into what that is different, right? No, but so break it down. So district manager, okay, so 6,000 over 2 months, you've got your first month, right? Subtract, so know your numbers. This is a business. I love that you said that. This is a business. You have to know your numbers. So know your goals. What are you getting month 1? What are you getting month 2? And then you really need the bricks and mortar that are gonna together build a wall, that are gonna come together to build your dream house. So what are your objectives? What are the bricks and mortar that are gonna get you there? That is the most important step that is most often forgotten. People are like, okay, I'm going district, okay, I'm going region in 6 months, and this is my date for that. But what are you going to do to get there? What are those, those benchmarks? And these objectives, they have to be smart, so specific. And I'm not going to get too into this because there's a great training. Actually, Brian Tracy does an awesome training on goals, and you can even look, even if you type it into Google search, it'll probably come up. But we say, and you might have heard this before, maybe you're upline or from someone, but goals and objectives in particular, when you're writing them down, they have to be smart. So they have to be, S stands for specific and measurable. Okay, so at the beginning of the month, write out your monthly benchmark. Write down the details that are going to get you there. So, I will sign new business partners this month. What does that even mean? Really break it down. I will directly sponsor 2 business partners this month with a minimum of 2,000 QB, delivering 3 drop-offs per week and hosting 2 one-on-ones a week. Really look at your activity goal. Whatever your system is, whatever it is, make sure that you're writing out that activity. 5,000 QB for your district manager bonus. I love that, you guys are going for your bonuses. What orders are you going to put in to achieve that? Have a list of names that you're following up with from the previous month. Not that fluid 100-person list. Those are things that are going to be really important. So make sure that those objectives are specific. I remember when I was closing out a huge promotion, I literally wrote down everyone's name I was calling and put their order next to it. This is what they're going to order, and literally crossed off my list. Okay, that I put on here. This one ordered, right? But it's important to really be specific and measurable. So the S is specific, and M is measurable. Okay, and I talked about both of those. A is attainable and action-oriented. So your goal must match your activity. An achievable goal will usually answer the question, how? How can the goal be accomplished? You'll have 5 open slots in your sheet with no names for orders. How are you going to fill it? What are you going to do to get there? Are you going to do 5 asks a day? Are you going to do 8 one-on-ones, 10 group presentations? What are you going to do to make it happen? And how realistic is the goal based on other constraints? I know for me personally, especially when I started my Arbonne business, I was working in the schools. I had an 8-week-old and a 2-year-old. I was not doing, 4 or 5 group presentations a week. Like, that was not, so I had to decide, what is that going to do? What is attainable? What is achievable? And what is realistic for me? And I knew I had to make up for that. So I packed my calendar with play dates and coffee appointments and phone conferences and Zoom calls that, after my kids were in bed. So, it's really important, to make sure that they're realistic and that they're action-oriented. The next one is relevant. This is really key. The 4th criterion stresses the importance of choosing goals that matter. Why does this matter to you? Again, going back to that why. Does it match your overall body goal, your benchmark? Let's just say that, basically, if you're spending time there, does it match your benchmark? Right? How many times maybe you get lost in making a flyer, right? Or making this like ridiculously lengthy email to your PCs. Like, is this really helping you achieve your goal? Is redoing something that's already been done and creating another flyer that you can already find, like, is that really income-producing activity? And the answer is no. So make sure that you're using your time wisely in this business and that it's relevant. And then the T is time-bound and trackable. The 5th criterion stresses the importance of grounding goals within a time frame and giving them a target date. So again, you need that deadline because if not, goals will be overtaken. So I love that Colleen talks about doing something every day. Like, did you do what you set out to do? Like, if you make your list, which I highly recommend the day before, of your priorities for the next day, did you do that? And if you didn't, then, that's something that you need to, you need to consider. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you have a time bound and trackable. Time bound. Yeah, so it's like, bound to a specific time and a targeted date. Right. So, break it down into daily lists. I'm huge on this. Like I said, break it down so much that you just keep crossing it off. So one more thing, they should be fluid and flexible. And I talked about this earlier in my story. Understand that you might have this big goal and it might not happen. And that's okay. You have to be fluid. Sometimes you're going to have months where you're like, well, man, I moved past my trifecta. Like, that was my goal for the month. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to go have litigation, right? My point is that you hit your maintenance block, you hit your, whatever, 2,500. Go for that DM bonus, although you should be going for the DM bonus anyway. But my point is, make sure that you're always changing those goals and that they're fluid and you're flexible. And don't beat yourself up over it. The only way you fail in Arbonne, and I want every consultant to hear this, the only way we fail in Arbonne is to quit. That's the only way. Because no matter what, if you keep going, you do your personal development, you do your ask, you're going to grow. So really make sure that you have flexibility within your goals. So I want to challenge you guys, and if you guys know me, I'm big on challenges, but I want you guys to spend some time and really make sure that you're breaking down your goals, your benchmarks, your objectives, and send them. If you haven't for 2018 looked at your goals in your month, and your weekly goals, even your daily goals, send them to your accountability partner, to your sponsor, to your manager, to your upline, to your VP, whatever. Really good goal this past weekend on goal setting as well. But I did want to talk about that, and I want to end with something because I talked about vision, and I think that this is really important. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. Are you practicing vision with action? Moment to moment? So thank you guys so much for tonight. I really appreciate it. And we will get, the time management and all that down, but I appreciate you guys being here for sure. And it is 9 o'clock.
I forgot something. You guys, the 2 videos by Richard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the secret formula for success. It's on YouTube. The secret formula for success. And then the other one is curiosity prospecting. Great videos. Curiosity prospecting. And then not for the guests, but for all the consultants tonight, if you guys could just leave a tip for this lady, for this girl, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Yes. Oh, thank you
Does
guys.
everybody want to get a drink?
Yeah, we can take a picture.
Curiosity prospecting.
Yes, we definitely need a big group picture. How fun was this?
I feel bad about this.